Let's see if this thing works. It's been a while, so I'm trying to figure out. All right, good enough for me. All right. So, let's kick this thing off. It's been a month or so now, so since the last stream, but jumping back into it, gonna start doing, jumping into the 100 Days of Cloud challenge. And the idea is that, every morning I'll grab a cup of coffee and go through, some of the AWS workshops, and, have like a focused hour or so of learning different topics that are provided through the AWS workshops. And hopefully, learn some new stuff. Today, I'm gonna start with the Modern Infrastructure as Code with Pulumi. This was actually one of this is one of my first contributions to an open source project, which I'm proud of. But I added this workshop to the awesome list of workshops, and so I figured it'd be a good one to start with. So let me just share my screen and we'll jump into it. Oops. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen now. Yeah, so the idea is that this is called Cloud and Coffee, and we just open up one of these workshops here from this awesome AWS list here. Get rid of this, and so I decided to pick on this one here, the Modern Infrastructure as Code with Pulumi, and that's where we'll start. Let me just pull this down here. Cool. All right. So I've already kind of started to look into this workshop. There's actually quite a bit of setup that's required here. If you're using Cloud9, I think there's some additional IAM permissions that are required, and settings for the workspace itself. So it took me about 5 to 10 minutes to finish this. So definitely recommend, if you're going through that, just set up the Cloud9. I think it's gonna pay off later when we're actually interacting with some of the services that we're deploying. But I'm just gonna go ahead and skip ahead to module 1 here, and get started. Get started in module 1. So. Oh, and a little bit of background as well. I've used Pulumi in the past as an infrastructure as code tool. It's similar to CDK. So I've already done a stream about AWS Cloud Development Kit. And this is kind of a competitor, I guess you'd say, in that space. And I think what happens is like CDK sort of sits on like as an abstraction or sits on top of CloudFormation, and then Pulame's like magic is that it sits on top of like Terraform providers. So underneath the hood, you could use all the different Terraform providers, but again, you're using a familiar programming language, and that's like the whole you know benefit to it, I guess you'd say. All right. So yeah, I think we need to start with empty directory. CD into it. Let me see if I can make that bigger. I can never remember how to make like Cloud9 should just have a button that says like increase the size of I guess that's up here then. So well, we won't be using too much of the command line anyways, hopefully. So Pulumi new type script -y. Yeah, so that should create like a scaffold of our project. I think that should, hopefully you can see that a little bit better. Get our package.json. So not much to it. This is pretty bare bones. Pretty bare bones for the project here. Currently, we're just importing the Pulumi module. So let's go to the next part here. Okay, yeah. So now we npm install at Pulumi US. That should bring in that package. And we can import. Looks good so far. Yeah, so part of the workshop setup as well is like logging into Pulumi like SaaS. So now I'll just set the region. We're not using we're using the default profile, so I don't think that's required. All right. So provisioning infrastructure. Now that you have a project configured to use AWS, you'll create some basic infrastructure for it. We'll start with a simple S3 bucket. So here's where you get in, like, again, like we saw with the CDK, authoring infrastructure with using like a tool like this, you're able to get all this like intelligence of helping you pick the resource, and then some of the details uh, about each of these resources. So pretty cool. So once we do pull me up, it shows you, all these, or basically it'll do like a sort of like similar to like a Terraform plan, where it's like, hey, we're going to deploy these resources. Yeah, if we and gives you this nice layout. If you want more details, you can pick the details. And then you can finally hit yes to actually deploy them. And then, another thing is, it's like you can click on the, I don't know if it makes this, oh yeah, you can click on the link to actually go to the Pulumi console and actually see like the changes. So, think about Terraform. Let me blow this up a little bit more. It's like where the state file lives, I believe. And that's sort of the idea here, is that this is like the remote state for all of the Pulumi resources that get deployed. Okay, so if now we can export the bucket name. We'll save that. Pull me up -yes. This is one thing I really like about Pulumi as well, is like using the outputs in conjunction with like the AWS CLI. That's pretty cool. Like, all right, I'll just all right. So that was provisioning the infrastructure. Now we're going to look at updating the infrastructure. We just saw how to create new infrastructure from scratch. Let's add an object to your bucket, serve the content from your bucket as a website, programmatically create infrastructure. So we'll create a directory called site and add a new index.html. Oops. I'll just copy that in there. Then we can import path. Another thing is I'm still kind of learning TypeScript, but so far I've really liked it. Actually, it's kind of nice. Okay, so then now we need to add a new resource. So const my object equals new AWS S3 bucket object. So that what's going on here is like that's the name of the object, the logical name of it for Pulumi, but then in the brackets here is where we really set up our and then we can just pass in the my bucket object source new Pulumi asset file. Cool. I mean, that's pretty powerful, like you can't do something like this with, raw CloudFormation. Super nice. All right, so we'll run Pulumi up again. And then, I should create like a little diff output that we should be able to see the changes. Yep. Single resources added. Oh, yes. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Cool. Now we can see that local index.html file is now in the S3 bucket um, in our AWS account. Serve content from your bucket as a website. To serve content from your bucket as a website, you'll need to update a few properties. First, your bucket needs a website property that sets the default index document to index.html. Okay. So that's up here, and we just add that. That's where the autocomplete was wrong. So website. Index document. Index.html. Next, your index.html object will need two changes, an ACL of public read so that it can be accessed anonymously over the internet, and a type, a content type so that it is served as HTML. Okay. So it looks like they just add those two. So ACL public dash read. And then content type. And then we can change the export, or maybe just add. Yeah, just add the bucket endpoint so that we get the URL for this new like static website that we're building here. So yeah, everything looks good. Let me just save this and we'll run pull me up again. Cool. Yeah, we can curl it, or I think we should be able to. What does this mean? I thought we would be able to hit it from a browser. I guess not. not really the output that I was expecting. Well, yeah, I actually don't want to go into all my S3 buckets. Oh, it's because I didn't save this? Probably. I didn't save the index.html, so probably that's probably why it's blank. Just a blank file. Oh man. Okay, let's try to pull me up that again. Rookie mistake. More coffee. Alright. So now if we curl that, let's see what we get. That's better. And I'm wondering if I try and open this up in a browser, it works. Yeah. Yeah, so I just didn't save it. Make sure you remember to save your work in Cloud9. All right. So that was updating infrastructure. Now we're on to make your stack configurable. Right now the bucket's contents are hard-coded. Next, you'll make the location of the contents configurable and add support for populating the bucket with an entire directory's worth of contents. So step one, adding a config variable. Instead of hard coding the site directory, we'll use configuration to make it easy to change the location without editing the program. So create a file config.ts and add this to it. Interesting. Okay, so let's Step 2, populating the bucket based on config. Add this line to your index.ts. Files import statements. Okay. Oh, let's remember to save this first so I don't screw that up again. And replace the hard-coded site parameter with the imported site dir variable. So that was in the my object. Source was. Oh wow! So we can actually get rid of this. And then change this to I think we have one too many of those. There it goes. Cool. so now we can change the name of the directory, and then pull me up. So we need to set the config variable for it. That's cool. But is that better though? Like, because you still have to remember to, where'd it go? You still have to remember to like update this config variable. So, but we'll do it anyways. So if we curl that again, still works. That's cool. Step 4 is add more files. So instead of hard coding the set of files, you'll now change the program to read the entire contents of the www folder. The mime npm package dynamically detects content types, and node-dir recursively scans directories. Install these packages. So I think like what they're trying to do here is really show the power of using like a programming language like TypeScript, using some of like its native packages or modules that make it easier to make your infrastructure as code more dynamic, more efficient, all the different things, right? And so now we'll import that into the project here. So now replace the object allocation with this code. So let's see what it's doing here. So set this variable called files. We use node-dir to find all of the files within the site directory, which in this case is www. And then it looks like it loops. There's a for loop through all of the different files. It gives them each a name. And then, within this for loop, we're basically doing the same thing that we were before. And then also, using this content type to get it. Otherwise, it's undefined. To get the file type. Cool. So now we can add a new file to our directory here, call it about.html. And then let's copy that and put that into here. I've read that this is kind of controversial to say, like, using real programming language. So let's just say infrastructure as code is powerful. Don't want to offend anybody here. So, all right. So pull me up again. Do we have to update the bucket endpoint? No. Oh, well, because we'll be able to go to slash about now. Yeah. That was weird. Awesome. Yeah, and if we go here and say about.html, infrastructure as code is powerful. Awesome. Creating a second stack. So it's easy to use. It's easy to create multiple instances of the same project. This is called a stack and is handy for multiple development or test environments, staging versus production, and scaling a given infrastructure across many regions. So step one, create and configure a new stack. Next, configure its two required variables. So it's interesting, you know, as we ran those commands here, it looks like it saves those config variables within these. You know, you can see. Well, you can't really see it on the screen, but it says like dev and prod here, and we're basically differentiating the stacks by environments and their config variables. It's pretty cool. All right. So then now we can run a Pulumi stack ls. Yeah, and we can see we got the dev and prod now. Looks like there's like an asterisk on the prod. Makes it seem like that's like the stack that we're on right now. Okay, so step 2, populate the new site directory. It would have been possible to use the existing www directory for the site, or in this example, we'll use the www prod directory to demonstrate the value of having configurability. Interesting. Okay, so, and then we add an index.html here, and then we'll just copy this HTML into it there. Remember to save. All right, and then we'll say pull me up. That's really cool. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, so now, like, we're on that prod stack, we can run the same command. Oops. Well, there's no about.html, so that's good. Or that didn't work, but this will work. And basically, we didn't make any changes to the index.html. That's really cool when you're moving between development and production. You're not necessarily worried about the infrastructure because of the configurability of it, and yet you can just add a few directories and files, and add another stack, and you're off to the races. That's pretty cool. All right, so last step in module 1 here, which is I think where we'll end up stopping today. Don't want to overdo it on my first stream back, but yeah, let's finish this out and then see where we're at. So maybe peek ahead a little bit on the next module. Okay, so pull me destroy. Oh yeah, I wonder if it looks like it only deletes resources per stack. I wonder if there's a way to like delete all of the resources in all of the stacks. Looks like we're kind of backtracking here. So pull me stack rm, confirm. Prod has been removed. I wonder if you could do like, well, it doesn't matter now actually, but I'm sure you can like list out all the different stacks. Oh, of course, the last. Yeah, so we're back at the dev stack that has 5 resources. Cool. Oh, it says so once you've gone back to dev, repeat steps 1 and 2, which is just pull me, destroy. And then pull me, stack, rm, dev. And then if we do an list all, get all of our, they're all gone. I wonder if we can look in here. Oh, yeah, they're all gone. Yeah, looks like it's cleared out. Cool. All right. Yeah, so in the next module, which will probably be tomorrow, we'll look at module 2 and creating a new, deploying an Amazon EKS cluster, which I'm really looking forward to because I definitely want to learn more about Kubernetes. And I think Pulumi, like from what I've read, is that Pulumi is probably the best infrastructure as tool when like not only provisioning the EKS like resources or environments, but also like to configure the EKS cluster, or the pods within the cluster on top of that. So, or in addition to the infrastructure level stuff. So definitely looking forward to diving into that a little bit more. And yeah, I think this was a good first step to really see the power of Pulumi and how using a programming language like TypeScript. Um, you know, traditionally, I'm kind of more comfortable or familiar with Python, and so obviously there isn't an emphasis on types or anything like that. But in TypeScript is really cool. I've really enjoyed how easy it is to get it set up. You don't have to deal with all those virtual environments and the dependencies. Although you're sort of downloading half the internet with the Node modules, but I think I think the idea is that within a few lines or whatever, you can create these like very configurable components that you can reuse and make them dynamic. And you saw that with how we were able to create additional directories depending on stacks, and identify the resources that go into each of those different stacks, which is, I mean, that's everyone's dream, right? Is to be dynamic and efficient and how we deploy infrastructure as code. And I think this first module was definitely an eye opener in a few different areas. So, uh, uh, so yeah, we'll look ahead and module for tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.